Country's all-time hits, 104.9, Max Country, Garth Brooks and Friends in Low Places, 7 minutes after 8 o'clock. It is Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, and we have a Thanksgiving treat, maybe. It's just a Wednesday treat is what it is. First of all, I invite everybody that's tuning in to head over to our Facebook page right now. We are broadcasting live with McKenzie, JaLynn from the McKenzie, JaLynn Band. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you very much for coming in this morning. So much has happened in your career in the last year. So let's backtrack a little bit. First of all, you have a new album coming out. I believe you got, like 14 tracks on it or so?
I do. They are all self-written tracks, and they're in the process of, being mastered and produced. And so that'll hopefully be coming out soon.
All right, so tell us a little bit about the background to this album. Now, you have come in once before in the last pandemic year, and this album was born out of the pandemic, wasn't it? So.
Yes. Like I said, this album is entirely self-written, and these are like a compilation of songs that I wrote over the last year or two, especially during the pandemic. As all of us know, the pandemic has been nothing but unpredictable and challenging. And for me, I personally hit an all-time low. And I struggle with anxiety and depression, a little bit of mood disorder. But I didn't know that until I hit my all-time low, and I was actually hospitalized for my mental health in May of 2020, back kind of in the prime of the pandemic. And my music was something that, I could kind of fall back on. It was kind of my best friend throughout the whole thing. A lot of the time I thought, I was all alone, and I truly do have an incredible support system. But when you feel all alone, for me, one of my escapes is kind of my music. And so, I just had songs pouring out of me. I had lyrics pouring out of me like crazy. And that was just like my one way I felt like I could really express my feelings during that time. And so, my music kind of saved me during that time. And so this album is all about kind of my experiences with my mental health journey, discovering and growing closer to my faith, and, discovering myself, and most importantly, learning how to love myself. So.
Now, after all of this went down, you sort of, I don't know if it was on purpose or if it just kind of happened organically, you became an advocate for mental health. Like you shared your story online and people started reaching out to you. What have you been able to do to help other people realize, to try and take away the stigma of having mental health issues?
Yeah, so, like I said, my music for me has, kind of been my saving grace in all of this. And, one thing I just really want to do is share my story through my music. I think it's the best way that I'm able to kind of, get my story out there. And I just kind of want to be a voice for other people out there who may be struggling with similar things, and just remind them that, they're never alone, because I, for so long, thought that I was. And I've been through several therapies, several different group therapies, which is something that I never imagined myself ever, being into. But you're sitting in a room full of people that totally get it. They understand. You see heads nodding across the room, and it's like, man, I'm not alone. And, mental health has always had this stigma built around it that, if you reach out for help, then that's a sign of weakness. But I just want people to know that, it's definitely not a sign of it's not a sign of weakness, and that reaching out for help is probably one of the strongest things you can do. At least for me, it was one of the most challenging things, but in the long run, it has helped me so much to, reach out and to share my story with others, and to be able to relate with others, and then, also get that response back when I did start sharing my story, to have so many people contacting me. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm helping other people, but at the same time, what they don't realize is that they're helping me by sharing their story as well.
Well, that is excellent, and it's great to hear that you've been able to share your story and help people. But like you said, out of all of this, the lyrics just came flowing out, and you were able to create this album, which will be coming out in the very near future. You have a new single coming out next week, but you also brought your guitar along, and you're going to be playing some music for us this morning. I'll let you load up right now. Tell us what song you're going to do for us first. It's your choice, whatever you want to do.
Oh, goodness. So. I'll probably do one off of my upcoming Oblivion 2020 album, if that's all right. Mm-hmm. Find my guitar pick. And let's see here. I'm going to play a song that it's one of my newer originals, and this one will probably end up being one of my bonus tracks on my album. I actually had, I had a set goal in my Kickstarter campaign when I was raising money for this album, and my backers, my family, friends, supporters, they helped me reach above and beyond that goal, which is super awesome, and I'm incredibly thankful for all that support. And, because they helped me reach above and beyond my goal, I was able to record 2 extra songs in Nashville because I had originally planned on 12. So this is one of those songs, it's kind of one of those extra ones, but this is a song about, just not taking anything for granted in life and being thankful for, all the little things, and just knowing that, no matter how tough or challenging, life can get, that home and your family is always going to be there at the end of the day. And so this one is called I'm Coming Home.
All right. We'll let you do this as you get things ready here. Everybody, this is McKenzie, JaLynn.
Little house in a birch tree, me and sisters, handprints in the concrete, Mama yelling supper's ready, Daddy asking can you do the dishes, please? Oh, I never thought I'd miss these things, no matter how small they might seem. So I grab the keys and I'm out that door, and I hit the road that calls me back home, 'cause tomorrow will be gone before we know. So I'm coming home, I'm coming home, I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Here I thought I'd be okay, but I'm not sure I can stand another day. Now we've had our ups and downs, but that's alright, 'cause we'll always be there at the end of the night. So I grab the keys and I'm out that door, I hit the road that calls me back home, 'cause tomorrow will be gone before we know. So I'm coming home, I'm coming home, I'm coming home, I'm coming home. house in a birch tree. Me and sister's handprints in a concrete.
There you go.
Thank you.
That's a perfect one. A lot of people are going to be coming home over this holiday weekend, so that's quite appropriate there. Thank you very much. We're going to take a quick break here. I'll let you think about what the next song you're going to play for us, and we'll talk a little bit more about the album and a little bit more about what you're doing to break the stigma of mental health, and we'll do all that. And for everybody watching us live on Facebook, we will continue live on Facebook, and we'll be back live after this with McKenzie, JaLynn on Max Country. It's currently 45 glorious degrees. It is 8:22. I'm Gene Curtis, joined in the studio this morning from our Innovation Campus studios. It's McKenzie JaLynn. We're talking about her new album that will be coming out very soon, an album that was born out of the pandemic, and you have been very open that the pandemic brought out some mental health issues that you did not know that you had. Now, I'm going to give a little background information on you here, and then I'm going to ask a question. Now, the first time you came and seen me, you were still in high school. You have been performing music for quite a while, but you're an all-star athlete. You were a scholar student. You're a talented musician. Have you had anybody come to you through this whole ordeal and say, what do you have to be depressed about? Have you run into any of that?
All the time. Like, ever since high school, people would call me Miss Perfect, and it would drive me absolutely insane because it's like, I mean, you're only looking at the surface. You have no idea, what's going on deep down, what's going on in my life. I mean, I've struggled with anxiety and depression ever since I would say my junior year of high school, and that was actually the first time I ever, reached out to anybody. I reached out to my high school counselor, and that was one of the most challenging things. Like I mentioned, reaching out is, it's one of the hardest things, but for me, it's definitely a sign of how strong a person is. And so it took a lot out of me, but I am beyond thankful for that, first step that I took towards, fending for myself and my mental health. But yeah.
I know when all of this was really going on about a year ago, you were very open about it and you shared a lot of it online. If people want to know your whole story, is the story still out there for people to find so they can follow along and see a little bit about your journey as you've grown through this?
Oh, absolutely. So my Kickstarter campaign was kind of, what sparked me sharing my story. I had a goal of going to Nashville, recording 12 songs, and I ended up being able to record 14 songs. But you are still actually able to access my Kickstarter campaign page for Oblivion 2020. And it kind of has like all of the updates, announcements, and, I still update it to this day. It's kind of, it kind of follows me along my journey. And of course, on all my social media platforms, I'm constantly, posting and sharing things, and sharing my story even more. All of the music that I wrote for this album, I wrote in real time, like what I was feeling during that very moment when I was sitting down with my guitar. And, still to this day, I'm not going to like sugarcoat things, but still to this day, I struggle. I struggle with my mental health, and, I'm constantly visiting with a therapist and, a psychiatrist. And, I just found out the other day that my psychiatrist, is no longer working at the center I was going to. So I'd be lying if I said I wasn't terrified, but, it's just, it's just a part of life. That's real life. And so I really want people to know that, like, it's okay to be struggling. Like, it's normal. And there's always going to be something. But I also want people to know that there is so many people out there. There's so many resources, so many people you can reach out to for help. And I'm beyond thankful for, the support system that I've built, especially over these last couple of years.
Well, we're glad that you're pushing through it, and we're glad that you're sharing your story and, making good out of bad. You've put out a phenomenal album that's coming out here soon, and let's do another song. Again, your choice, whatever you want to do. Tell us a little bit about the song, and then we'll let you fly.
All right. So, I think I'll go ahead and do my song Wild Horses. That's also going to be on my Oblivion 2020 album. This one, this one is really I mean, really close to home for me just because it talks about kind of my experiences with my anxiety disorder, and just me kind of wondering, what it would be like to get away from, the constant, fear, worries, and stress that go on throughout my head from day to day. It's something I struggle with day to day, and it's just kind of me wondering what it would be like to run with the wild horses. So this one's called Wild Horses.
All right. Once again, joining us live in the Innovation Campus studios, it's McKenzie, JaLynn.
Sometimes I wonder why life's gotta be like this, trapped inside my own mind, but Lord, I can't resist. I begin to lose sleep as time keeps creeping away from me. Lord, I just wanna know what it feels like to be free. I wonder what it's like to get around beside the wild horses. I'm set free to follow my dreams out in the wide open. Feel the breeze on my skin as I take it all in one breath at a time. I wonder what it's like to get around beside the wild horses. Yeah, yeah, wild. Every time my heart speaks, I fail to listen. But I'm tired and I'm worn out from keeping myself in sync. Lately I'm struggling, wondering if I am enough. And who knows, I might not even be able to keep up. Get around beside the wild horses. I'm set free to follow my dreams out in the wide open. Feel the breeze on my skin as I take it all in one breath at a time. Wonder what it's like to get around beside the wild horses. It's a lot to ask, but I'm ready for a change. Lord, if you could just give me one day to feel what it's like to get around beside the wild horses. I'm set free to follow my dreams out in the wide open. Feel the breeze on my skin as I take it all in one breath at a time. I wonder what it's like to get around beside the wild horses. Yeah, yeah, wild.
Wild
Thank
Horses,
you.
McKenzie, JaLynn. That's another new track. The album's title, I believe, is Oblivion 2020, right?
Yes. Yep.
And it will be coming out in the near future. Now, we have a new song you said is coming out on December 3rd.
Yes.
I may have, and don't ask me how, I may have gotten my hands on a copy of this. It wasn't from your dad or anything like that. But I might play that here in a few minutes. But before we play it, tell me a little bit about the background of this song. And it will be the first single, right?
Yes. Well, yeah.
Things are still being decided. So.
Yeah. So, yes, this will be my first single as a solo artist. And this will be released on December 3rd, like you said. And this song was kind of, I mean, it's one of my newer originals. But this song was kind of written as a dedication to, like, all my loved ones who have been there for me through my lowest moments when I thought I was all alone. And I especially dedicate this song to my boyfriend, especially when I'm singing it live. I usually dedicate it to him because he actually reached out to me, in the midst of, my lowest moments. And back when I was being hospitalized for my mental health and everything, and when I finally decided to come out and share my story, he actually reached out to me over social media before we were even talking at this point. And he just told me how much how inspiring it was for just hearing my story and how much of an impact it's had on him, and not just him, but so many people out there. And so that was super cool for me to hear. And he actually told me that, if I ever needed a friend to talk to, that I could come to him and I could talk to him, whenever, and that, I could trust him. And, the one piece of that message that he sent to me, the one piece of that message that I really remember was him telling me that God is good all the time. And, that's something that sticks with me, to this day. And I still look at that message to this day because, it's just super special to me. And, it's crazy to think how far we've come since that day. But it's something we say all the time. God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. And that's kind of one of our things we say each and every day. But this song, is especially about, just how God brings people in our lives, when we least expect it. But He knows when the time is right. And ultimately, like, I've been through some, terrible relationships, but I ultimately feel like God wouldn't put me through those, if he knew that I wasn't strong enough to handle them. And that's something I've always believed. And I truly think he put me through those situations and those relationships to learn how to love myself first before, I put my full heart and effort into another relationship. Because ultimately, if we're not 100% ourselves, and we may never be 100% ourselves, but if we're not focused on our well-being first, then we can't expect ourselves to be able to give, our full, love and effort to others as much as we want to. So, this song just kind of has to do with, God bringing the people in my life during my lowest moments, and, yeah.
All right. And I'm getting the word down from the big boss. We're not going to play the song yet, but it will be available December 3rd, and I will put a link up on our Facebook page where you can pre-reserve ordering the song, so people will be able to get it before they'll be able to reserve getting it. So on December 3rd, boom, you'll have it. So we'll have that link up on our Facebook page here in just a few minutes. The holidays are specifically a very difficult time for a lot of people dealing with mental health, and we appreciate you putting your story out there. And like you said, as he was not your boyfriend then, but your boyfriend now reached out to you because you helped him. You're helping lots of people, and we greatly appreciate everything that you have done. We're looking forward to the new album. Hopefully it will be out sometime early in 2022, hopefully, right?
Absolutely, yes. Thank you so much for, giving me this opportunity. Every chance I get to share my story, I take it because, that's my goal in all of this. That's what I want to do. So thank you so much.
And also, another thing that kind of got shut down during the pandemic that is opening back up again is live performances. I know that you perform quite regularly on Sunday nights out at the Playmore. Do you have another show coming up sometime in the near future?
Yeah, so we should be out there again. I believe it's December 19th. So I think it's that week right before Christmas. So that'll be pretty cool. And then we're in the works of getting some other gigs booked. This time of year is kind of hard just because it's so busy. I might throw a couple Facebook Lives in there. So hopefully everyone, stays up to date with my stuff, and I might throw a Facebook Live out there. But we've been playing as much as we can. It's definitely been hard coming back from COVID. There's still some, restrictions, but it definitely feels good to be back on stage with my band, playing live music, because I know all of us out there, we definitely miss it. So.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming in to see us again. It's always a pleasure. About the time that the album's coming out, come back and visit us, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
All right. And for anybody who wants to go back or listen to all of this, it will be podcasted on our Facebook page, so it'll be available in perpetuity. Thank you very much, McKenzie.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Have a great holiday, and thank you for coming in and seeing us today, okay?
You as well. Thank you so much.